Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Hari Om. We are in Adhyatma Ramayana, chapter 4, second canto, Ayodhyakand, and we are in, I think, 42nd verse, I think so, where Ramchandraji is giving instructions to our Laxman on a situation that has come about, and that is Ramchandraji is being banished, not banished, has to go to exile for 14 years, and Lakshman, who is like his shadow, who loves him very much, he is very angry because of this, and he speaks ill of his father, his brothers, his stepmother Kekai, and in response to that, Ramchandraji is bringing him back to his own center. What is the center? Center is that unchanging principle. Center is that divinity. And when the world is viewed from being the center, then everything is ephemeral, everything is phenomenal, everything is coming and going. Nothing has importance in our life because that is because is the explanation that Ramchandraji is giving to Lakshman here. And we saw last week that he said that, what was it? He said, where are we? Tasmat Shantim Bhaja, verse 38. Tasmat Shantim Bhajaswadya Shatrurevam Bhavennate Dehendriyamana Prana Buddhyadibhyo Vilakshanaha Atma Shuddha Swayam Jyotihi Avikari Nirakrutihi Yavad Dehendriya Pranaihi Bhinnatvam Natmano Viduhu Tavat Sansara Dukkhaughaihi पीड्यन्ते मृत्यु संयुताः तस्मात् त्वं सर्वदा भिन्नम् आत्मानं हृदि भावय बुद्ध्यादिभ्यो बहिः सर्वम् अनुवर्तस्वमाखिदः भुञ्जन् प्रारब्धमखिलं सुखं वा दुःखमेव वा. In these few verses, it started from before, but again here, before it was about how to develop, cultivate our mind, and here Bhagwan Ramchandraji is telling Lakshmana, therefore be calm. The mind is like the Kamadhenu. So be at ease and calm down. Give up this anger and resentment and hatred towards anyone. By doing so, the enemy in the form of anger will not have any effect on you. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate. This verse comes in our second chapter Bhagavad Gita. Whenever we get whenever we see something, any stimuli, when more than required attention is given to that stimuli, then that we get attached to that stimuli. Then we have desire for that stimuli. And when that desire is not fulfilled, it leads to anger. Anger leads to delusion. Delusion leads to loss of memory. Loss of memory leads to no, you don't know what is right and wrong. And once a human being or one's buddhi does not know what is right and wrong, that itself is death of man. So where is this anger, this vague? It is all coming from attachment to Ram. So here our Ramchandraji is telling that if you, in any condition, immediately calm down, and what will happen as a result? The anger will lose its sway over you. You think of anger, you justify it, it will grow and grow and grow, and eventually it will destroy you only, not anyone else. The soul Atma, and what? Then the soul Atma is different and separate from the body, the sense organs, the mind, and the vital winds, and the intellect and discrimination faculty. And so we have seen this many times. What is that? Deha, Indriya, Manaha, Prana, Buddhi, Adi, Vilakshana. Vilakshana means separate from, other than these panchakoshas. Therefore, then, if it is if body, senses are not the Atma, body is not the Atma, breath is not the Atma, Buddhi is not the Atma, mind is not the Atma, then what is Atma? Atma Shuddha Swayam Jyotihi Avikari Nirakrutihi. What is Atma? Atma is that principle, that core of yours which is ever pure. Atma Shuddha. And because it is ever pure, it is Swayam Jyotihi. It is self-illuminating. It is so Shuddha, Ashuddha. Ashuddha means what? Impure. So there is no impurity. No impurity can touch the Atma that you are, O Laxmana. And as a result of that, it is self-knowing. We are trying to know ourselves through the thoughts. And what is meditation, or what is samadhi? And what is samadhi? Samadhi is you are knowing yourself without a thought. When you stand in front of a mirror, do you need a thought to see? You are seeing the mirror, the reflection, and there is no doubt about yourself. But there is a thought. What is the thought? That I am, it's me. Even though it is not you, but you consider it to be yourself. Why? Your attention is not, your eyes are looking at the reflection, but your attention is on yourself. When it comes to meditation, the self is reflecting in the mirror of the mind, and there is no dirt there. Shuddha. Dirt of what? Dirt of thoughts, dirt of duality and dualism, the dirt of otherness, the dirt of objectivity. This dirt is not there. So just as on a clean mirror, the sun shines as it is seen in the sky, similarly on a clean mind, if we can use this example, on a clean mind, the self reflects, and it does not require a medium of thought in order to know itself. That is Swayam Jyotihi. It meaning what? It is self-conscious. It is self-knowing, Swayam Jyotihi means all this. Just like sun is self-illumined, it doesn't need light from outside to illuminate itself. Exactly the same way, the Atma that you are, O Lakshmana, is self-illumined. Now just don't think, O Lakshmana, apply it on yourself. That you are not the senses, you are not the breath, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect. Then who are you? You are at any given moment the pure Atma. Then where are the thoughts? They are in the mind. Where are the convictions? They are in the intellect. Where is the duality? It is in the intellect and the mind. You got nothing to do with it. You are the mere onlooker of all this data that is coming and going. So here, so first was Atma Shuddha Swayam Jyotihi Avikari. Senses, breath, mind, intellect, they modify. Senses modify. Sometimes you are seeing, sometimes you are not seeing. Sometimes you are seeing, sometimes you are not seeing. Sometimes you need a +1 reading glasses. Sometimes you need +2 reading glasses. Sometimes you need very thick reading glasses. And after that, you don't need any reading glasses because you can't see anymore. Same thing as you grow old, before you are hearing clearly, now modification is going on. Similarly, the breath, in, out, modification is going on. It's not continuously in breath, nor it is continuously out breath. Similarly, the thoughts in the mind or emotions in the mind, they are continuously changing, modifying. Same way, at the level of intellect, the waking, dream, and deep sleep, they are not, none of them is continuous. Each one is changing, giving way to the other one. And who are you? You are the avikari, the unmodifying one. And what do we consider ourselves to be? That we are the modifying one. I am awake now. I had a good sleep now. I am disturbed because you called me this, or you did this to me, or you did that to me, or I'm not. I'm having a bad stomach because I ate that. Why? That means I considered I am the stomach. And who are we essentially? We are essentially the Atma, which is free of all modifications. Avikari, nirakrutihi. The and it is without any attributes. No attributes can be appropriated to the Atma. Tavat sansara dukkhaughaihi. No. Yave. No, where are we? यावद्देहेन्द्रियप्राणैः भिन्नत्वं न आत्मनो विदुः तावत् संसार दुःखौघैः पीड्यन्ते मृत्युसंयुताः. Then he says here that as long as a person as long as a person does not realize or understand that the Atma is other than the Indriyas, the Pranas, the Mana, the Buddhi, he remains entangled. See, this is our lot. This is the lot of our Lakshmana also. He remains entangled in life. And what is life? Birth and death. What is life? Change. What is life? Duality. What is life? Tu, main, me versus you. What is life? Objectivity. Everything in this life is with reference to something or someone. And who are you? The one without a second, the Atma, Atma Tattva. And therefore he says, gets entangled or tied to the snare of life and death, and eventually suffers from hordes of worldly agonies and sorrows, torments and tribulations. As long as you think you are the senses, then if you don't have an eye, you will have why I am not able to see. If you think you are the ears, then why I think I am losing my hearing ability. If you think you are the mind, I think I am becoming forgetful. If you are the intellect, I don't know why nowadays in the sleep also I am awake. I think I will be not fresh for tomorrow's work. I think I should apply for a day off. And this goes on and on and on and on. And this is nothing but committing sabotage day in and day out, moment by moment on ourselves. And who are we? Atma Shuddha Swayam Jyotihi Avikari Nirakrutihi. That we are. And what are we? If we have not recognized that, if we are not being that, then we get caught up in this world. Therefore, tasmat tvam sarvada bhinnam atmanam hृदि bhavaya buddhyadibhyo bahi sarvam anuvartasvamakhidah. Tasmat tvam, therefore tasmat tam sarvada bhinnam atmanam hृदि bhavaya. Therefore, you must treat your pure consciousness or soul, that Atma, as separate and distinct from your mind intellect apparatus. Follow the external world of deeds and actions with a behavior consonant with this outlook, and cope with both the sorrows and joys whenever you get whatever you get as destined for you by your previous deeds with equanimity. This is a very, very practical and important message by Ramchandra ji to Lakshman ji for our benefit. This is how we must approach life every moment of our existence. Our attention must be our conviction. I don't even say conviction and attention. We are the Atma, which is the pure consciousness, which is the absolute reality. And once we have accepted that, then what do we do about the world? Whatever is happening in the world? See, first is conviction, then is abidance. First, you have to be convinced. Right now, we are convinced that we are the body. Now, first, we have to change that I am convinced that I am the Atma. You have become convinced that you are the wife. So, all actions pertaining to the wife are happening out of you. You are convinced that you are the mother. So, that motherly care and nourishment and love for the children, that is automatically coming out of you. You don't have to think about it. The moment we become convinced that we are the Atma, Shuddha Atma, Swayam Jyoti Avikari Nirakritihi, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupa Atma, then from that moment onwards, that Atma will express through this equipment. First, you have to accept what has happened when you go and get married. Nothing has happened. You are still the same woman. All you did is put a garland around and put a ring on your finger and put some sindoor in your, if nowadays you put it, I don't know. Nowadays they don't want to put it. And from that moment onwards, she starts thinking, I am the wife. And here, so some ceremony was done. After that, what was that ceremony? That ceremony was a culturally accepted ceremony by which you come to a conviction that I am married now. What is the ceremony happening right now? Ceremony of satsang. And what is this ceremony telling, bringing about? This ceremony of satsang, where the teacher is speaking to the student, just like that girl became transformed into a wife, and by accepting that she's a wife, Similarly, here the transformation must take place in a satsang. And what is that? I am not the individual, I am the Atma. If this transformation is not taking place, if this conviction is not sticking to us after a satsang, then we are going the wrong way. Meaning, we are still obsessed with the world, we are still, in other words, we are still obsessed with senses, breath, mind, intellect. And as a result of that, we are obsessed with the world. And what will be our lot? Only frustration, only irritation, only anxiety, only trials and tribulations, and eventually death. And what will happen if we accept ourselves to be the Atma? Whatever the list I just now gave, you are absent. There is no one to own it. It may be happening to the equipment, let it happen. Till we get established in the Atma as the Atma, you are convinced, but abidance has not taken place. Or in meditation, you know you are the Atma, but outside meditation, the world is still there. Then what? How do you interact with the world? These are the last three verses. Tasmat tvam sarvada bhinnam atmanam hridi bhavaya buddhyadibhyo bahi sarvam anuvartasvamakhidah bhunjan भुंजन प्रारब्धम अखिलम सुखम वा दुःखमेव वा. You remain equanimous. So therefore you must always consider that Atma is other than is separate from the Panchakoshas. And when we are moving around in this world of this world, in the external world, or even internal world is going a bit too fast for us to control, we can only exercise our control and choice in the outside world, in the external world. So when it comes to the external world, what should be our outlook? That whatever is happening, there are two ways. Here he is saying that, I'll tell you the better way. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayashyami ma shucha. So better way is that give up everything and take my surrender to me. There, Bhagwan, what did we explain? That in everything you see the hand of the divine. But here, Ramchandraji is not showing that he is divine. Krishna is different. Here, Bhagwan Ram, he is coming across as a normal human being, but a perfect human being, an ideal human being. And therefore, he is not bringing that point of Lord in between. And therefore, he says that when you move around in this world, live with an outlook that, what is the outlook? Outlook of equanimity. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Sukha dukkha samay kritva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yuddhesva. See? So, Sukha Dukkha, remain equanimous, balanced. Don't get excited in Sukha, don't get depressed in Dukkha. Joys and sorrows. Labha, alabha. In gain and loss, remain equanimous. If you get the results, good results, don't get excited. If you get lost, don't get depressed. Same way, remain equanimous in victory and defeat. And this is the war that is going on within us. Do we succumb to the opposites? Joy, sorrow, gain, loss, victory, defeat? Or do we remain equanimous? Will they stop? Will the joy, sorrows stop coming? No. Will gain and loss stop coming to you? No. Will victory and defeat stop? They will not. That is what the world is made up of. See? But the question is, even if the world is coming across in that manner, are you becoming a receiver of that? If you become a receiver, then you have lost the plot. Don't be a receiver. How do you become a receiver? If you give validity or are convinced that you are this body, breath, mind, intellect, equipment. But if you accept that you are the Atma, the pure consciousness, then the receiver is missing. Experience is happening, but there is no experiencer. Experience is happening, but there is no experiencer. It's something very similar. When we are driving and sometimes we are thinking about something and driving is going on, but you don't know how you reached your home. Happens many times, isn't it? Dangerous, but it does happen. Similarly, you are being the self and life is getting lived by itself. You are unaffected by what is going on because you are not the experiencer of life. You are not the seer, hearer, toucher, feeler, thinker, etc. The precipitation of individuality is not taking place. Atma, identified with the five koshas, the body, breath, mind, intellect, is called the individual soul. If you have taken a step back and recognized that you are the Shuddha, Swayam Jyoti, self-illuminating, unmodified, attributeless reality, then others will see there is an individuality, as we see in a Mahatma, but the Mahatma himself, he is untouched by the matter vestibule. Oh, beautiful. And the third, so first was see the hand of the divine in everything. Second was surrender everything to the Lord. But if a little bit of still the conviction is not 100%, sometimes the individuality comes in, sometimes in the meditation the individuality goes away, then what do? Then here it is told, you have the outlook that whatever is coming in your life, whatever is coming in life, and what comes in our life, understand, destiny does not give you circumstances. Oh, I was destined to be married to this idiot. No. I was destined to lose my job. No, this is not destiny. Destiny only expresses in our life as joys and sorrows. Sukha dukkha. Everything boils down to sukha dukkha. So, what is the solution? Remain equanimous. And if at times something disturbs you, something excites you, understand the mind got excited, you are the Atma, Shuddha Atma. If my eye is itching and I put my finger in there, I may say my eye is itching and I'm not able to see, but somewhere in me it is very clear that I am not the eye. I is different from the I. I means the capital I is different from EYE. Exactly the same way. So, whatever you get as destined for you by your previous deeds with equanimity and forbearance without having any mental anguish, contrition, and regrets. So, don't get worked up. Oh my God, today, nowadays, all the kids, I hate this, I hate that. Oh my God, what will happen to me? My nails are so long. I'm losing my hair every moment. What will happen to me? I look at food and I put on weight. What will happen to me? Oh my God, I missed the class. Oh my God, I missed the plane. Oh, how dare that person speak to me like that? Everything is a reaction. Everything is a reaction. Don't live a reactionary life. This is only possible when Ramchandraji is saying when one's attention is on the Atma. Only then it is possible. And from there then emanates the equanimous attitude. You can't be thinking about the world and be equanimous. It is not possible. For few moments here and there you may be. It may be possible. But it's very minuscule moment. It cannot last. Because world means change. Your conviction is world is and your attention is on the world. For some time, like for some time in the deep sleep, you are free of thoughts. Similarly, for some minuscule moments in the waking plane, we are empty minded. Between the thoughts, we have we are empty. If that empty space becomes a bit longer, we start having doubts about ourselves. I think I'm having dementia. I think I can't remember anything. I think I can't remember the numbers. I'm becoming forgetful. Just little bit that gap becomes longer, we start having this type of conversation with ourselves. Get out of it. You are the self is not equal to remembering every phone number or every person's name. It is not equal to that. Swayam Jyotihi means knowing the self by the self without any medium of thoughts. And what are we assessing being the self means? Self means if I am the consciousness, consciousness means knowledge. I must know everything. And what I should know everything? I should know everything about everything in this world. You're digging your own grave. If this is the way we are thinking, majority people think like that only. So do yourself a favor and cultivate, read this or listen to these verses again and again, so that we get the clarity. It's very simple. Put attention on the self within, and whenever the attention is on the outside, don't initiate anything, don't opine anything, don't indulge into anything. Let everything happen what is meant to happen, and accept it as destiny. And what is that destiny? Whatever actions you must have done, it is their result. Or better, it is the will of the Lord. Remain attentive on the Lord, not on the action that is taking place, not on the experience that is taking place. Enough of that. Continuing. Pravahapatitam karyam kurvannapi na lipyase bahye sarvatra kartrutvam avahannapi raghava antashuddha swabhavastvam lipyase na cha karmabhihi etanmayoditam kritsnam hrudi bhavaya sarvada. प्रवाह पतितम कार्यम कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यसे बाह्ये सर्वत्र कर्तृत्वम Avahannapi Raghava. Oh Raghav, here Raghav means Lakshman because all the four brothers are coming from the Raghukul. Raghav just doesn't mean Ramchandra ji. Lakshman is equally a Raghav. Bharat is equally a Raghav and Shatrughna is also a Raghav. If you continue to do deeds by your external sense organs, as and when they present themselves before you, requiring your attention as per the destined course of action, you still would not be bound in the shackles created by those deeds. This is very, very important. We most of the time, all the thoughts in our mind, be very attentive, all the thoughts in our mind are only about past or future, are only about past and future. And what is the past about? Guilt and regrets. And what is the future about? I should do this, I should do that, expectation, anxiety, planning. And what is Ramchandra ji telling here? That you continue to do the deeds, meaning right now I am sitting here, my job is to speak on the verses of Adhyatma Ramayana, and I just do that without any deviation, without any confusion, without any that I wish I was doing Kathopanishad at this time. Gone, lost the plot. I can't be 100% in Adhyatma Ramayana, and I won't be 100% available to Kathopanishad also. So, understand, it's not that you are doing, just like when you breathe out, automatically breath comes in, automatically breath goes out, automatically the eyes are blinking, automatically the hair are growing, nails are growing, body is growing, automatically the sleep is coming, automatically the waking is happening, automatically the dream is coming. You are not even thinking that I'm going to dream this and that, but dream happens. Similarly, automatically the hunger is coming, automatically the heart is beating, automatically every physiological function that is going on in your body is happening automatically. Exactly the same way, everything that is coming to you, everything in this world that is coming to meet you, possibilities are immense. Infinite number of possibilities. Out of those infinite number of possibilities, one possibility came to you to meet. So what was the possibility today? To do the class or not to do the class? 6:15, class time. I'm just going back to that 6:15. I came, you came. If the thought is, I should be watching that serial, I wish I had gone to that movie, I wish this or wish that, then you can never be 100% available, nor I can be available. Then what did I ask Narayan? I said, what do you want to do? Normally we do so many things. I don't want to take ownership. So I said, you decide. He said, Hanuman Chalisa. Okay, we'll do Hanuman Chalisa. If he had said, we'll chant Varnanam, Artha Sanganam, all those shlokas, I would have done that also. See? So whatever, in whichever manner life is meeting you, you meet with the same enthusiasm. I don't say the world is meeting with you the enthusiasm. Let the world come to you in whichever manner. But you meet it. You meet only what is coming to you. Don't give yourself options. The moment you give yourself options, you give yourself choices, confusion will come. So here Bhagavan is telling Laxmana that If you continue to do deeds by your external sense organs as and when they present themselves before you, as and when. It is not that all the time you are seeing, sometimes you are hearing, sometimes you are smelling, sometimes you are feeling, sometimes you are thinking, sometimes you are ideating, sometimes you are waking, sometimes you are dreaming, sometimes you are sleeping. Something is happening all the time. So here he is saying, as and when they present themselves before you, requiring your attention, as per the destined course of action, you still would not be bound. So, whatever the program that this body has come with, sorry, the mind has come with, whatever the from the birth, you are a unique person. You have a certain swabhav. There is a blueprint of your life. You are, for example, I like bitter gourd and you don't like bitter gourd. I love milkshake, you don't love milkshake. What is the reason why I don't like it? In the childhood, I didn't like bitter gourd. Now I love bitter gourd. In the childhood, I didn't like milkshake. Now I love milkshake. There is no logic for it. It's just like that. That each one is wired in such a way that they are they are some things are conducive to them and some things are not conducive to them. Some people enjoy walking, some people don't enjoy walking. See? So here Bhagavan is telling that whatever comes, it's seeking your attention. It's including a thought in your mind. When it comes, a desire comes, a thought comes, the reason it is coming is it wants your attention. Wants your attention as per the destined course of action. And if you don't give it attention, this is important now. If you remain equanimous, whatever the program needs to work itself out, whatever needs to happen at that moment, whatever response needs to come, that will happen, and that particular event will be over, and then the next event will come. And when a person lives in this manner, such a person is not bound in the shackles created by the deeds. So what is happening here? In other words, you are living every moment 100%. You are not living in the past, you are not living in the future, and in this moment, whatever life is presenting to you, you are equanimous, allowing the life to happen through this mind, body, breath, intellect equipment. Automatically from this equipment, whatever it is programmed with, a response will happen towards towards what the world is throwing at this body, breath, mind, intellect equipment. And all you are doing is a witness of the whole thing. And when one functions in this way, then he does not get bound, does not get shackled, does not get entangled in the deeds. Deed means there is a doer. Witnessing means there is no doer. This is a imagination that I have to do something. Everything is happening. I just gave you a big list of happenings, from breath to hunger to blinking of eye, etc., etc. So we have to find somewhere within ourselves. We have to become convinced somewhere within ourselves that everything in this world is happening. Either you say it is happening by the will of God, or you recognize that it is happening. Unnecessarily, we identify, because see what it wanted? It wanted your attention. If you give it attention, you have got identified. Then you become the thinker. Then you become the breather. Then you become the seer. Then you become the hearer. Then you become the doer. Then you become the enjoyer. But if you don't give it attention, because your attention is on being the Atmic principle, the resultant will be you will be equanimous. Or even while looking at the world, no, I'm not going to be disturbed by anything. I'm just going to be cool as a cucumber. Equanimous. No excitement, no depression. Then no new impressions are created. Old impressions are expressing as the response through the equipment and getting released. Over a period of time, as we live a life of equanimity, the program starts working itself out. No new impressions are created. A point will come where everything, or the entire program has worked itself out, meaning all the subconscious impressions, the vasanas, the deeds have worked themselves out without creating any new impressions. This is called vasana kshaya, reduction of the vasanas. But this is the way. This is looking at it from the worldly standpoint. Ramchandraji is himself established in himself. He's saying if you function like this, then you will not get caught up in anything. Then see how beautifully he says, Anta Shuddha Swabhava Tvam Lipyase na cha karma bihi etanmayoditam kritsnam hrudi bhavaya sarvada. Being internally, mentally free from infatuations, attachments, and the sense of belonging, having no malice or ill will towards anyone, and having pure, unbiased way of thinking, you shall not be indulgent, involved, or attached with those actions or deeds that your body does. All activities at the body level only. Body means Panchakoshas. Contemplate in your heart on all that I have said and always keep it in your mind. The more we keep thinking in this manner that everything is happening by itself, I don't have to initiate anything. Everything is happening by itself. To that extent, we are abiding in our own self. But if you say, no, I have to do it, I have to initiate it, if I don't do it, who else will do it? Then be ready for the consequences. How beautiful, huh? Go and listen to this again. Oh, I think from which verse it was. It started from long ago. Starting from 17th, 18th, where Laxmana said, I shall kill all those with a bow and arrow in my hand. So from 19th onwards, from 19th till here, is the teaching of Ramchandraji to Laxmana. Very, very important discourse. Continuing, संसार दुःखैरखिलैः बाध्यसे न कदाचन त्वमप्यम्ब मयादिष्टं हृदि भावय नित्यदा समागमं प्रतीक्षस्व न दुःखै पीड्यसे चिरं न सदैकत्र संवासः कर्म मार्गानुवर्तिनां यथा प्रवाह पतितपि पतित प्लवानां सरितां तथा चतुर्दश समासंख्या क्षणार्धमेव जायते अनुमन्यस्व मामम्ब दुःखं संत्यज्य दूरतः एवं चेत् सुख संवासो भविष्यति वने मम. Now Bhagwan is coming to the conclusion. What does he say? By following this, what is this? My advice. You shall never be hindered, bogged down, or cowed down by the various sorrows, agonies, troubles, and tribulations of this mundane world. See? In one line, Sansara dukkha akhilaihi badhyase na kadachana. Badhyase, you will not be bound by the miseries of the world. Which miseries? Akhilaihi, entire miseries of the world. In whichever way or form they come about. Tomapyambas mayadishtam hridhi bhavaya nityada. When will this happen? That you will not be entangled or bound by them as long as you are as long as you keep contemplating on what I have just told you above. So in other words, what is the lesson for us? That we should every day take these few verses, read the meaning again and again and again, and become convinced of it. This is the crux of all the scriptures. Don't have to complicate it by, oh, I have to study this Upanishad, I have to study that Upanishad. All Upanishads are talking about this only. The entire 18,000 verses of Bhagavatam are, what is the crux of it? This only. Why we want to complicate our life? Keep it simple. And he's not telling you do asana, do pranayam, do pratyahar, do dharana, dhyan, samadhi. He's saying just remember what I have told you again and again. As you keep remembering these verses in the context that we have explained to you, slowly, the understanding will come. It's that simple. Natural way of living, Sahaj Bhav. Ramchandraji is living in this world. He is not outside this world. Ramchandraji also went through depression till sage Vashishta gave him the Yoga Vashishta. These words of Ramchandraji to Laxmana are coming. So from the time of Yoga Vashishta, what happened after Yoga Vashishta was given to Ramchandraji? He was taken by Vishwamitra. He killed Tadka, Kharadushan, Ahalya Uddhar, breaking of the bow, marrying to Sita. All this happened. When it happened? After realization. Why are we delaying ours? Because we have an axe to grind. And what is that? Oh, I have invested in these shares. I don't know what is happening to the world. Will they grow, or will I make a profit, or will I make a loss? Our attention is on the world. Our attention is on our disease. Our attention is on our impending death. Our attention is not on the self. It's only on some aspect of the world. And when our attention is on some aspect of the world, we will get entangled. That is the nature of our mind. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate. Whatever you give attention to, you start desiring it after. You get attached and you get desired. You desire. So choose wisely, yaar. Choose to be attentive of the self. Then the desire for the self will come. That desire is better than the desire for the world. Oh, Mother Kaushalya, you should also think over what. Where are we? Over what I have said on a regular basis, that is persistently, constantly, and daily. This is for us. She is telling his mother. Ramchandraji is telling, mother is also sitting there, because Kaikai and Sumitra, they were both there. Lakshman was there. And Ramchandraji is telling Lakshman, he gave this few verses to Lakshman in response to his outburst. And now he's saying, oh mother, you must also think about this. And when you should sing Saturday to Saturday, no. You should think about it persistently, means every moment, constantly, daily. It's not said monthly. Daily, every moment. Samagamam pratikshasva na dukkhai pidhyase chiram na sadaikatra samvasaha karma marganuvartinam. And wait for time when I shall meet you again. In other words, and be patient. Contemplate in this manner and wait till the Atma reveals itself. Ram Chandraji is the Atma. Don't consider Ram, Sri Ram, as the body that you see there. Why am I saying that? Go back to the chapter 1, Ram Hridayam. What did Sita say about Ramchandraji? That is the foundation of the entire Adhyatma Ramayana. Till I meet you again, you will not have sorrows and agonies for long. Creatures who are tied to the snare of their deeds and their incumbent rewards cannot always expect to have coexistence. Even as boats without sails, which are floating down, which are floating down the swift currents of a river, do not always remain together, O mother. This seemingly long 14-year period will fly away as it were only half of a moment, meaning he is bringing forth to his mother a fact of life. The fact of life is, just as another example which comes in the Upanishads, just as 2 grains of sands, they come together with the incoming tide, with the incoming wave. They meet. Hi, how are you? Wonderful to see you. Then, as the tide goes back, the 2 particles of sand separate. Again, next wave comes. They may meet, they may not meet. Here, Ramchandraji is saying, we will meet. 14 years will go in a jiffy. But we can't hold on We have not been able to hold on to our childhood. We can't hold on to our teenage. We haven't been able to hold on to our youth. We haven't been able to hold on to our black hair. It has become white. We haven't been able to hold on to our health. It is something is breaking down all the time. For some time it breaks down, then something happens, again it becomes okay. For how long? Maybe permanently, maybe not permanently. We don't know what's going to be, what is there in the future. Our attention has to be right now. But the nature of the world is coming together, separation. Again coming together, separation. Again coming together, separation. This is the flux. This is the nivritti pravritti. Every Saturday we come together, then rest of the week we go away from each other. Then again next Saturday we come together, again we go away from each other. How many times you think of Adhyatma Ramayana for the rest of the week? No, but Swamiji, like after 2 days you take Kathopanishad, then I have to think of Kathopanishad. Then I have to think of Bhagavad Gita. Only on Saturday to Saturday I think of Adhyatma Ramayana. Is that a complaint or is that a answer? It's immaterial what text you are doing. What is the teaching? What is the essence? What is the crux of each scripture that we are taking? The teaching is exactly the same what Ramchandra just told Laxmana. And then he's telling his mother, you also do this. You also remember this daily, every moment. And in that, very quickly, these 14 years will go away and you will see me again. This seems, all of you remove your sorrow and lamentations and give me permission to proceed to the forest. If you do so, I shall live happily without any regrets and sense of guilt of being the cause of your agonies and anguish to others in the forest. Again, very important. When we live in this world, let us not inflict pain on others. If Lakshman, Kaushalya and Sumitra, they do not change their attitude and send Ramchandraji with a smile. He says, I will be continuously having regrets that because of me, you are in pain, you are in depression. And as a result, what will happen? I will not be able to live happily for the next 14 years. Is that what we want to inflict on whom we love? Whether it is our children, whether it is our wife or husband, whether it is our in-laws or outlaws, whether it is our daughter-in-law or son-in-law, whether it is our friends. Make this one rule that any person who comes into your life, you send them away with a smile. That should be our rule in life. For that, self-pity has to be given up. First thing. If there is self-pity, we will only want attention from everyone. Second, we should not consider the rest of the world as below, that we are greater than the rest of the people. Then the daya bhav will come, compassion. We don't believe in compassion. In compassion, automatically you are the compassionate and that fellow to whom you are giving the compassion is the needy. No. Here we are talking of the equals. You be happy, I am happy. Spread happiness, not compassion. So, what is our, if what Ramchandraji has said, that you live every moment in equanimity, automatically there will be no regrets, there will be no anxiety. You will be happy for no reason every moment. Can we impart this knowledge to anyone who comes in our contact? If we become convinced of what Ramchandraji has said, then, and we are practicing it in our life, automatically this language starts percolating out of us, sprouting out of us to anyone who comes in touch with us. If it's happening by itself, the Lord is functioning through you. See? इत्युक्त्वा दण्डवन्मातुः पादयो पादयोर्पतचिच् पतत पादयोरपतच्चिरम् उत्थाप्याङ्के समावेश्य आशीर्भिरभ्यनन्दयत सर्वे देवास गन्धर्वा ब्रह्मविष्णुशिवादयः रक्षन्तु त्वां सदा यान्तं तिष्ठन्तं निद्रयायुतं. Having said so, Sri Ram lay on the feet of his mother and prostrated like a stick for a long time. After that, mother lifted him and seated him on her lap, blessed and praised him. She said, let Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, along with the Gandharvas, demigods, celestial musicians, and all other gods like Indra, Varun, Agni, etc., etc., Dikpalas, and all other gods always protect you while you walk, sit, or sleep in the forest. What a wonderful blessing. Huh? So now, when we hear this, the mother has come to terms. She's no longer sad, she's no longer depressed, she's no longer in pain. That pain, slight pain, will be there till she resolves completely by remembering what Ramchandraji has said again and again. But for the moment, she has resolved within herself that I have to send away Ramchandraji, my darling son, with a joyous disposition. And therefore, Sarve Devasa Gandharva Brahma Vishnu Shivadayaha Rakshantu Tvam Sadayantam Tishtantam Nidrayayutam. In every condition, may all these gods and demigods, they protect you. Iti prasthapayamasa समालिङ्ग्य पुनः पुनः लक्ष्मणोऽपि सदा तदा रामं नत्वा हर्षाशु गद्गदः आह रामममान्तस्थः संशयोऽयं त्वया हृतः यास्यामि पृष्ठतो राम सेवां कर्तुं तदा दिश अनुगृह्णीष्व मां राम नो चेत् प्राणास्त्यजाम्यहं तथेति राघवोऽप्याह लक्ष्मणं याहि माचिरम्. In this way, clasping him repeatedly to her bosom, the mother bade farewell to Sri Ram with a heavy heart within, outside a smile on her face. Then Lakshmana filled his eyes with tears of joy and exhilaration and said to him with a voice choked with emotions, O Sri Ram, see what is happening here. A 2-minute satsang with Sri Ram has transformed the attitude of Lakshman. All that anger, all that rajas, all that irritation, all that feeling of vengeance towards his brother, other brothers, and his father and stepmother, all that has just washed away by merely 2 minutes of satsang, only 15-20 verses. We are taking hours to explain that, but there is a dialogue. Within 10 minutes, 5 minutes, it would have been over. And as a result, Lakshmana's eyes filled with tears of joy and exhilaration, and said to him with a voice choked with, "Oh Ram, you have removed all my internal doubts, confusions, and indecisions." How wonderful! We must live in this disposition where we have no doubts about anything in life. Not imaginary, that I have no doubts. When we are talking about have no doubt about as to who you are, not about the world. We are not talking about doubts about the world. Yes, doubt about the nature of the world, yes, that it is changing, it is ephemeral, it is don't entangle, all that is good. But also, no doubt about who you are. I shall now follow you to serve you in the forest. Give me your consent for it. Ah Rama mamantastha sanshayoyam tavahratah. All my doubts are yasyami prishtato Rama sevam kartum tadadisha. Wherever you go, I will come behind you and serve you. Anugrahishwa mam Rama. Please give me the consent. Anugrahishwa, please say yes. Please give me the permission, consent. No chet pranas tyajamyaham. And if you don't, this is the emotional blackmail now. If you, he says, Anukrishna Vam Rama, nochet pranas tejamyaham. Give your consent, may your grace flow upon me by saying yes. If you don't, I will leave my life from this body. All our parents do the same, no? If you don't listen to me, I will give up my body. It's better to die than listen to your no. Isn't it? Give me your consent for it. Show mercy and grace upon me. Otherwise, I shall leave my body. Sri Ram replied to him, saying, "All right, come along, do not delay." Tatheti Raghavopyaha Lakshmanam yahi machiram. भगवान को भी टाइम पास करना है. He says, "Okay, come along." Because Lakshman is very dear to him. Lakshman, he knows Lakshman loves him like he loves himself. Like anyone loves himself, Lakshman loves Ramchandraji more than that. Similarly, Shatrughna loves Bharat more than himself. Bharat and Lakshman and Shatrughna, all the three love Ram more than they love themselves. Because Ram is the life. Ram is the Atma. Read the first chapter of the first canto, Ram Hridayam. Then you will understand what is being told. So, it is important that whenever we go on a pilgrimage, whenever we begin any project, whenever we begin any task, whenever we begin a satsang, any task, whenever we begin the day, we begin it with inspiration. we begin it with clarity. And that is only possible when we are one with ourselves. So here a new project is beginning. What is that? 14 years of Vanvas, going to the forest. And if from the beginning itself, the first step they take out of the palace is in depression, leaving everyone crying, yourself you're crying, you are sad, then entire 14 years will be a burden. But life, as Ramchandra has just now explained, every moment is be the Atma. Atma is Ananda Swarup. It is not Dukkha Swarup. So, whenever we begin something with inspiration and joy, which will come, which is the resultant of self abidance or self contemplation, that's why they say in Brahma Murta, do meditation or chant the name of the Lord, whatever, so that your entire day gets a direction. The entire day is an expression of what you put into your mind or what you exposed yourself to the first thing in the morning. And what do we do? What do majority people do? The moment they get up, they put the news on, they put the YouTube on, sit on the toilet and listen to the news. This killed, that killed, this war, that war. Remain empty. Very, these are some simple things which will make a big difference in our life. That you are ready to drive, drive with inspiration. You are going for food, don't complain. Whatever is there, no choice, equanimous. Whatever comes in the plate, eat joyfully. Go to sleep joyfully. Wake up joyfully. Fight joyfully. Argue joyfully. Try. 6:30, 7:30. We'll stop here. Enough. Now Sita is coming into the picture, and again we'll look at it. Contemplate on these verses. They are life changing. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.